What's up, YouTube? It's Hector from Not Too Nerdy, and welcome back to another episode of Warframe Wednesday. This week it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to see some gameplay in the background of Warframe, but it's not going to be live or anything. I'm just going to go over some quick news. Now, before I get into the news, I want to let you guys know that next Wednesday, I'm actually going to buy or purchase the Rhino Prime Pack for the PS4 Warframe. So that means, I'm actually going to get the Rhino suit, everything like that, and I'll show you guys a whole bunch of weapons and more with that. So it's going to be something different from the basic package I had before. I'm actually going to invest money into this because, it looks like lots of fun. So now let's get straight into the news. First thing I want to talk about, Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty. Now, Snoop Dogg's voice, there'll be like a voice pack or something like that with him being in Call of Duty Ghost. A lot of people think this is ridiculous, and they think they call the creators of Call of Duty is desperate. They are desperate for some money, and that's why they're releasing this DLC. But to be honest with you guys, I don't mind DLC like this. I really don't. This is just some fun stuff that you don't need. It's not going to help anyone in the game. It's not like it's going to be a gun or something that's going to give them a competitive edge. To me, stuff like this doesn't matter. If someone wants to pay extra money to dress up a character or get something that's like a voice pack, so be it. Why would you get upset with that? Who cares if the developer's making more money off it? So what? It's not something you have to get. It's not something that they're forcing you to get. It'll be one thing if it's like a brand new weapon that's overpowered, and if you don't purchase it, you're going to be losing more. That to me, that's unfair, and that's not right. But for something like this that won't affect anyone else, it won't affect your gameplay whatsoever. In fact, you won't even hear it. You'll hear it only if you purchase the sound clip. So why does it matter? So the people that say, like Call of Duty, developers they're greedy, they just want more money. They're trying to do something that's fun for someone else. It's not for everyone. It really isn't. If it was for everyone, they would have made a mandatory thing and make everyone pay for it, but it's not. The end. Get over it. That's pretty much it. Now, the next news I have is Sony sells $47 million worth of stocks for a Square Enix stake. A lot of people today said, this is bad for Sony. They're selling Square Enix, the stock. It doesn't matter. That, to me, they have such little amounts of share in Square Enix. Square Enix is just making them lose money right now. You don't need to do that. You might as well sell the stocks now before it goes down even more, because Square Enix has not been doing too well as it is. The end. So for people that, say, it has to do with Sony being, bankrupt, stuff like that, they're not going bankrupt yet. And moves like this is going to help them stay in business, because this is a smart thing to do. This is showing that they're actually trying to make changes and not let their company die. So it's another one. Get over it. I have another news for Sony. Sony announces the new PS Now enable Bravia 4K TV. They also show the 4K media player. Now, the 4K TVs are, they're pretty expensive. They're going to start out ranging from $2,000, and I believe they go all the way to $25,000. Now, clearly, no one I know is going to pay $25,000 for a TV. But, if you're rich, go ahead. But, the ones that are going to be in our price range will be the $2,000 ones to $4,000, let's say. Even though spending $4,000 probably isn't something someone wants to do, but if it's a decent size, I don't see why not, since it'll probably last you a long time. Because that's the thing with Sony products for the TVs. They are expensive, okay? But the difference between that and a Samsung, for example, the reason why Sony's not doing well in the TV franchise anymore is because they're so expensive. Samsung is like half the price of a Bravia TV. But here's the catch. The Bravia TV will last you longer, twice as long as the Samsung. But why do people still buy the Samsungs? Because people will rather take the chance of the Samsung not lasting as long because it's cheaper than actually save the money and buy a Bravia. And I think Sony fails to realize that they should honestly put cheaper parts to match the Samsung. Even if you have a different line of TVs that are your cheaper line, you should do something like that to match the Samsung. You have the capability to make good TVs, But the problem is they're trying to make the quality too good and putting too many good parts into the TV, which is kind of funny because you're thinking, what's wrong with putting good parts in the TV? Like, don't you want it to last? Yes, you do want it to last, but you also want people to buy your TV because it's in the price range. You have to understand that just because you shortcut things and drop the price, like, doesn't mean that it won't last a decent amount of time either, you know? I understand that they're trying to make quality products, but they have to understand at this time you need to make products to compete with your competitors. You know, they're making cheaper products, quicker. They're releasing it quicker and everything because people are buying them because they're cheap. Do they last as long? No, they do not last as long as the Sony Bravia. And that's the truth. Sony Bravia has really good color, but here's the thing. Samsung colors are brighter and they just look better than a Bravia. Not all Bravias, because some Bravias look really good, but Samsung actually looks really, really good. The problem is their panels burn out for Samsung. And I have already had that problem with my TV. That luckily is under warranty and they replaced it and it hasn't burned out since. But if that wasn't warranty, it would have cost me $800 to replace the whole panel for the Samsung TV. Which at that point, it's like I might as well buy a new TV. So, you know, the Bravia that I have also, the Bravia is still good. Bravia hasn't done that once. So that's the difference between the two. The Bravia will last you longer. The Bravia is made quality parts inside of it. But the problem is it's going to cost you it's going to cost you that money. And do you really want to spend that much more money for a TV? You know? And that's the thing, especially in the economy today, people don't want to do that. People don't want to spend that much money for a TV. They don't. They're not going to. So hopefully Sony's going to learn, like, they have to do that. I mean, they announced their new 4K TVs. Let's see how people are going to react to them. Let's see if people are going to buy into it. We don't know yet. We'll see. But I also mentioned that there's 4K media players that they have. And the 4K media player actually looks like a PlayStation 4. It looks very similar to the style of PlayStation 4. It doesn't have that weird shape, but it looks very, very similar to PlayStation 4. The quality, all black, it looks very similar. Now, it is going to provide 4K content and stuff like that. Oh, let me go back to the TV real quick. I nearly forgot. The TV also is going to have PlayStation Now. You know, that's the big feature that's on it. So, you know, all you're going to need is a DualShock 3 controller to use those games, but it will have PlayStation Now, like, inside of it already. So it'll be activated, the app will be there, you'll be able to use it. So that's pretty impressive. But at the same time, like, I don't know how those games are going to be upscaled to 4K. I wonder what they're going to look like in 4K, but we'll see what happens with that. But back to the media player. The 4K media player looks like a PlayStation 4. It looks pretty decent. You know, like, there's a couple questions people want to know, like, what are they going to do with it? You know, are people actually going to buy it? It's going to stream 4K content directly to people. So the good thing is, at least Sony thought of a product that's going to definitely bring you 4K media, because what good is all these TVs if there's no 4K media? And a lot of people have not switched to 4K media. There's a lot of places that still don't even have full 1080p yet. You know, so, you know, I digress though. Like, we'll see what happens in the future. Who knows what 4K is going to bring. 4K really does look good. And I don't care what people say, you can tell the difference between 1080p and 4K. Yes, you can. But is it worth is the price worth the difference that you see? Probably not. But you definitely can see difference though. So that's pretty much it. And now's the last, like, news that I had to talk about. The last subject I want to talk about that's not news related is just advice. And this is my personal opinion. I like to see, I like to hear what you guys think about this. But I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that. But I did see another YouTuber's video on a certain product, the Amazon Fire TV. Now, when you do a product review on something, it's always opinion. That's fine. You have the right to any opinion that you want with a product. You know, if you feel a certain way about a product, by all means, that's the way you feel. That's it. To me, it doesn't affect me the way you feel. What bugs me, though, are people that do a product review of something and they don't inform people on the product itself. they would compare the product to stuff that it's not meant to be compared against. For example, this YouTuber compared the Amazon Fire TV and said that I would rather have the Xbox One because the Xbox One's value, has better value than this device. How are you going to say a $500 product has more value than a $100 product? How can you even compare the two? Like, it just blows my mind that people will sit there and compare it to something that it's not. When you have a product and you're going to give a product review, your job is to say, well, what does this device do? What does it do? If I were to buy it, why am I buying it for? For what purpose? You look at what they're selling it as, and then you rate it on what they're advertising it as. You know what I mean? Supposedly, even though people might debate this, the Xbox One is supposed to be, the Xbox One is supposed to be gaming first. Same thing as PlayStation 4. Now, some people might debate that because they did, show a lot of TV stuff, but in reality, it's supposed to be gaming first. So if you want a gaming device, you go to the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, okay? Or PS3 or Xbox 360, but you go to that first. If you want media second, then you go to those because the main focus is their gaming. The second focus is the media device. If you want the media, that's where this other device, Amazon Fire TV, comes in. So does the Roku 3. They also have the Apple TV. Those devices come into play if you want media first. Now, if you want media first and gaming second, now you have the Ouya, you have the Roku 3, and you also have the Amazon Fire TV. Now, that is a fair comparison. You cannot compare the Amazon Fire TV to the Xbox One. It doesn't even, when they're trying to sell it to you, they don't even tell you. The first thing they say is not competing against that. It is a media device that so happens to play games as well. It's not gaming first. It's media. It's streaming media first. So my message to you guys is to make sure when you do a review of something, you research it. Because why are you making a video on YouTube for a review when you have viewers and you're telling them not to buy something that you're better off getting an Xbox One? What? I don't understand how, if I'm debating whether spending $100 or spending $500, who sits down and thinks that should I spend $500 for just media? No, they're spending $500 because they want the gaming part, not because of the media of the Xbox One. So it just blows my mind. When you guys make a video and you're doing a review, research a product, see what the company is selling the product as, see what they're trying to, what they're advertising it to do. Once you find that out, then you see it, you actually check those features out that they say that works. And then say, well, does this work well? How do you feel about it? That's how you tell someone. No one, I'm not here to say that, it's a good product or a bad product. That doesn't matter to me because that's his opinion. But when you go there comparing it to something that should not be compared to, when it clearly says, the creators even said that it is not competing against an Xbox One or PS4, and you're sitting there saying, well, you're better off getting an Xbox One because it has better value. Let alone the person said they work for Microsoft, but that's beyond the point. The fact that you're saying that a $500 device has better value than a $100 device. Are you serious right now? I'm sorry. That really made me rage there. I watch this person reviews. I actually respect them. I like all the reviews. This is the first time I ever disagreed with a review. I disagree to some of the reviews that they said before, but that's, like I said, I had a different opinion from him. That's perfectly fine. You're allowed to have different opinions. I disagreed with the way he reviewed it this time. My question to the person was literally, what were you planning? Like, what was your goal when you got this item? What were you buying it for? Were you buying it for a gaming device when you already have other gaming devices? Were you buying it as a streaming device? Because if you're buying it just for a streaming device, what did it do wrong? Like, there was some features I don't like on it, and I'll tell you that on my product review. There's a bunch of features that they can fix with software. They can fix with a software update. But there are features that it needs to work on. Clearly needs to work on. But yet, I'm comparing it to the Roku 3. I'm comparing it to Apple TV, because that's what you're supposed to compare it to. That's its competitors. Even if you go onto the Amazon website to purchase this device, it shows you, it compares it to the Roku 3, it compares it to Apple TV. They give you all these checks to say, like, well, we have this when they don't have this. So they literally compare it to those devices. They don't compare it to the Xbox One. It doesn't have the same specs. Well, anyway, I digress. I just want to let you guys know, if you ever do a product review, or, if you follow someone's review for a product, make sure you watch the review and you actually see what or listen to what they're saying. Because if you hear that they're comparing it to something that it's not, then honestly, that product review is invalid, because they had something in their mind about this product before they got it. It shouldn't be compared to a different device. Just sit down and listen to different reviews and hear what they say. Just don't not buy something because someone says not to buy it. But don't buy it because someone says to buy it either. You have to sit down, listen to what the person says, and then come to your own conclusion of if this is the device that you need or if you don't need it. So I just want to let you guys know that. I know it's not news, but I just had to say something about it. So that's pretty much it for Warframe Wednesday. This is Hector from Not Too Nerdy. I'm out. See you, YouTube.